Being this young and doing what I love and travelling the world, I want to appreciate it a little bit more. So I think my biggest goal is to just try and get my name out there independently as much as I can before I go make some money in a big company somewhere. Don't let people tell you that you can't do something. Don't let people put their insecurities and project their fears onto you. Because they can't do something doesn't mean you can't do it. So my name is Lizzy Evans. I'm a professional wrestler under the name The Live Bird Lizzy Evo. I've been wrestling since I was 14 years old, so 11 years now. And I travel all over the UK and the world doing it. I just watched wrestling a lot as a kid, and I found a wrestling school and I never, ever, ever looked back. And it just maybe planted a little seed for me to be a wrestler. It wasn't long after I started training, and then outside of that school, I did Coventry Pro Wrestling, which is obviously in Coventry. And I would have been 15 for that one. So yeah, actively on shows since I was 15. Japan was a big one, I did that 17. Ireland, I love going to Ireland, Scotland. One thing about me is I love traveling, so I get to basically get paid to travel, see some cool stuff and then wrestle. So yeah, it's dead fun.
Normally I'm the wrestler that just gets on with shit. This is my livelihood, this is how I earn a living. So when I have injuries, I don't do a shit bad move and pull out. I'll always turn up.
When I first started wrestling, I really wanted to do like big goals, like Japan was one of them because Japanese wrestling was massive. So once I actually got an email about going to Japan, I was like, I'm maybe a bit too young. And once they got to find out how old I was and stuff, they were fine. And I think I flew over a few months before my 18th birthday, and that was quite cool. Yeah, I went by myself, and that was the first time leaving the country, so it was a bit wild, that. I think for me, I don't know if I can speak on behalf of everyone else, but for me, I always had my dad saying to me, you need to get a job, you need to do this, this, this. And for so long, because I had in my head that I really, really wanted to do specific things and I hadn't done them yet. And at that point, I was like, I can do them now if I just keep going. I had so much support from my family, but I think it was when he would see me coming home making 15 to 30 pound on a show that I'm barely getting out of bed for. That was when he was like, are you really serious? Like, this is what you want to do? But once he realised I was, yeah. I think once I started getting double booked on shows that I wasn't realising, I would take a show, and because I was so used to always being available for shows, I would say yeah without checking, and I'd be like, oh man, I've double booked myself. So I think once I realised I was getting quite out there and quite popular in the UK scene, that was when I was like, okay, I need to take this a little bit more serious, and I gave more time to it, which is like I stopped doing part-time work and I focused on building a better gym life mindset. I mean, financially, it's been one of the struggles, and I think anyone that you ever watch who chases a dream or follows a plan that they want to do, it's one of the things that you have to come with. Like, you have a few struggles with your finances, but money comes and goes, I guess. Yeah, a few years ago, I used to always say, like, women wouldn't get much TV time. If you watch Go Back Wrestling, they get like 4 minutes in ring. In wrestling, you want to tell a story as much as you can, and you can't really do that in 4 minutes. I wanted to get more time in the ring for women. Because I'd always have young girls when I was doing the holiday camp shows, they'd come over to me and they'd be like, you really inspire me to want to do stuff. And you can't really do that in 4 minutes. So like for years and years, I'd always say women don't get the time they deserve. And it pushed me to not wrestle like a woman, but to wrestle like a wrestler. John Kenny is a British legend, and he started training me at 16. And no one would get in the ring with me at training, all the lads would, and I was like, there was no other females there. And one day John was like, I've had enough of this. When she steps in these ropes, she's a wrestler. When she comes out then she's Lizzy. So treat her as a wrestler when she's in there. And it made me a better wrestler. men especially have a barrier when it comes to this type of stuff. Like, females don't care, but men especially don't want to be seen being physical and being in contact with women in wrestling. And I think some of the best stories that I've ever told have been against the men, because you'll meet a lot of them that will be like, yeah, you know what, fair play, you will probably punch my head in real life, so let's tell that story. And it's cool when you meet people like that, but then you obviously get people that are like, no, you're just a woman, but then you prove them wrong when you wrestle. So for me, when I started wrestling, I didn't really have a good training school. It wasn't really, I've been vocal about it before, they were quite nasty people. They wouldn't let you train anywhere else. They wouldn't let you like meet new people in other schools. So it was quite toxic. And it taught me that, you know, to have a start like that in wrestling and still keep doing it, it shows where the passion is. So I just want people's starts and people's journeys to be a little bit more enjoyable, because mine wasn't at first. And it killed my passion a little bit, you know, and I had to take time out, and I would never want to kill someone's passion, and I want to make sure people know that whatever they want to do, they can do. I took a break from the training school because I had a lot going on at the time in my personal life, and the only thing I wanted to do was just get back in the ring and wrestle. And I think I took about 6-7 weeks off, and when I finally got back, I never took another training session for a long time off, because I knew that my passion was being fed in a different way, because I had come back with a completely different mentality that time. In wrestling, you can never determine what type of crowd you're going to receive. And so if you get a crowd that's a bunch of idiots and they don't give you anything as a baby face, at least as a heel, you can be like, oh, go away then, I don't give a shit about you. But as a baby face, I'd be like, oh, come on. And I ain't begging for anything, so I'm a heel and I love being a heel. My mum says when she watches me, she's like, that's you, but you just dialed up times 10. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
This man. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that due to injury, Lizzy Evans will not be able to compete this evening.
Kind of like an addiction, you know, when you're chasing something and you're like, I'm almost there though, and then you look back and you're like, I was nowhere near there. But I don't know, it's just, for me, it's just wanting to see literally how far I can take it from being from where I'm from, and seeing other people do it makes me want to do it as well.